So then I clicked on the X button to make it go away, but then it was a link to another ad, and when I tried to cancel that, another window came up and it was this. Dude, what the bro? What does this mean, dude, bro? What the bro?
Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes. We've got some bad news going on within the comic book industry. Specifically, there's an ongoing ransomware attack against Diamond Comics distributors and Alliance game distributors, obviously under the Jeppy family brands, where they have game and comic distribution. This has been going on over the weekend. You may have noticed, I believe on Friday, the Previews World website went down. It has returned, but a lot of their other websites and associated servers are actually down and under a ransomware attack. This occurred on Friday, and they have reached out to some third-party recovery sites, and they've notified the police and everything. And this is what they end up telling some of their business partners from an email sent from business continuity platform Agility Recovery. This is obviously the company that they have hired to handle this ransomware attack and try to bring their servers back online and gain their access back to their information. This is what it had to say. Our IT department and a team of third-party experts are working around the clock to address these issues and restore full operations. Now, I imagine most of you are young enough to know what a ransomware attack is, but we might have a few older folks that are my generation and maybe a little bit older that aren't really all that familiar with that. A ransomware is a malware that is basically penetrates your systems. It locks down access to your actual data, your business data, and then basically you have to pay a ransom to get access back to it. And there have been a number of high-profile ransomware attacks this year that have been going on, and there was actually a survey in New York Magazine that found that over half of ransomware victims end up actually paying to regain access to their information, but only a quarter of them actually regain full access to all their servers and information and whatnot. I imagine a lot of people are very concerned. Perhaps their financial information, which is certainly stored on the Diamond Comics distributors' servers and information systems, perhaps have been compromised. They have assured that customer data and financial information was not stored on the network and has not been impacted by the attacks, according to the message that was sent out. We'll have to take them at the word. I kind of find that one hard to believe, but that is what they are claiming at this time. And they did have some more information, obviously, in the email. They said, while some of our systems remain down, rest assured we are continuing to ship product and fill orders to the greatest extent we can. Our retail services portal is online and available for FOC. The key point in there is we will continue to fill orders to the greatest extent we can. Obviously, they do not have full operations up and running. So there will be delays and disruptions to comic book distribution this week. Now, obviously, Marvel Comics is exclusive with Penguin Random House. Although Diamond is a wholesale distributor for Marvel Comics now, DC Comics are with Looter. So basically, the big fish at Diamond Comics as far as their distribution is Image Comics, but certainly you have Boom, Dark Horse, IDW is moving over to Penguin Random House. I don't think they've actually gone there yet. Perhaps they have already. But a lot of the major independent publishers outside of DC and Marvel are certainly still with Diamond Comics, and there's likely to be disruption. This is exactly what they explained as far as the disruption that people can expect. As far as customer shipments, and I imagine when they say customer shipments, retail shipments that are going out, that are on sale November 10th, they said, due to system issues we're experiencing, some customers' shipments of product with an on-sale date of November 10 will be delayed. Sounds like they're not sure exactly, but there are certainly some retailers out there that will not receive their shipment of comic books this week from Diamond Comics. Obviously, this is terrible news. I personally, the team here at Thinking Critical are absolutely pro comic book shop. Obviously, this is so far out of their hands, there's nothing that your local comic shop could do about it if they do not receive their comic shipment. Please, if you have the ability, be patient with your local comic shop. they're eventually going to get these comic books. They're going to get this unscrewed. This isn't their fault. Do the best you can, and hopefully you can wait out some of these comic books. I'll go through a list of some of the more important titles that are out this week, but fortunately there are no real major big debuts or like milestone comics, stuff like that. They also say that there will be some drop points. When I read this, I do not know this. I'm assuming this is where they've done pallet shipments at a certain drop point in a city, and comic shops that have paid for the pallet shipments probably went on it together like halvesies. They go there and they pick them up directly rather than having them delivered through like the U.S. Postal Service or something like that. For that, they say shipments to the following drop points will be delayed. Please wait for confirmation that your product has arrived before traveling to the drop point. Specifically, 3 locations: Baltimore, Boston, and Dallas. So if your local comic shop is in one of those cities and they do pallet shipments, I'm assuming this is pallet shipments. I guess I could be wrong because it doesn't specifically say that. That's the way I'm interpreting this. You're going to have delays, unfortunately. And I know Larry's Comics is in Massachusetts, but I don't know that I know that he does do pallet shipments. I don't know that he has to go to Boston. So hopefully Larry's a good friend of the channel. I'm hoping that this doesn't in fact impact him and his customers. They also go on to say that LTL and UPS customers, some shipping delays will occur. Specific information, including tracking numbers, may not be available before your shipment arrives. That one there sounds like we're not really sure what has been shipped out. It was in the system, and that system is locked down, and we don't know what orders were processed when actually went out. So if you're a comic shop that gets UPS deliveries or LTL, hopefully you received them by now, or you receive them tomorrow. It does say specifically that Canadian customers will receive no shipping delays, and then international customers, obviously customers outside of North America, some shipping delays will occur. Not a whole lot of specifics in there other than the 3 drop points that we know will not be arriving on time. This is obviously terrible. It's bad news for Diamond Comics. Independent comics are much hotter right now than they were, in quite some time. So that has been good news for Diamond Comics, and certainly has probably helped their bottom line as they've lost DC Comics to Lunar, and now Marvel has kind of moved on to Penguin Random House, but they are a wholesale distributor for Marvel as well. Could have happened at a worse time, based on some of the things that we saw during the pandemic shutdown and some of the agreements or the terms that were having to put out there by Diamond to the retail partners as far as repayment on products and stuff. I don't imagine this is a cash flush company right now. We do know that Steve Geppi was kind of going out there talking about, bragging a little bit about their renewed access to credit and stuff like that. So my heart goes out to Diamond Comics. Not a biggest fan of them being like a monopoly when they were. Felt like they probably could have done things along the way to improve their service and really keep up with the times. They didn't do that. But I don't want this happening to anybody. I don't want companies to have to go under ransomware attacks. I don't want to see people affected by ransomware attacks. And I certainly don't want to see the retail partners affected by these ransomware attacks, and then obviously their customers. So this is terrible news. Please, if your comic shop is affected by this, realize this is out of their hands. This is out of Diamond Comics' hands. These things happen to big tech companies, let alone a smaller, kind of mom and pop comic book distribution and game distribution company that this is happening to right now. So be patient if you can, and the comics will arrive shortly. Remember, don't shoot the messenger. If this has happened to your comic shop, imagine the amount of stress that they're going in. This is literally how they keep the lights on. This is how they pay the bills, pay their employees, likely how they're paying their house payment, putting clothes on their kids' backs and stuff like this. They're probably stressed out enough right now. If there's a delay, please, be as friendly as you can. be nice and understanding about it. Don't kill the messenger. This isn't their fault. As far as the big issues that would be affected if your comic shop is not going to receive their comics on time this week due to this ransomware attack, we do have Mighty Morphin, an issue of May's book, Vampirella, Canto 3, Undiscovered Country, Six Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton. There's some other ones in there, but those seem like the biggest names out there in the indie market. Like I said, nothing, none of those really, really huge sellers specifically. So that's kind of a good thing for your comic shop and good thing for Diamond Comics. I do hope this is resolved in a pretty short order. I hate to see anything like this happen. I'm not like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of the way that Diamond has done their business in the past, but they don't deserve this. No one really does. I hate stuff like this, and hopefully it gets resolved relatively shortly and things get back to business as usual. And so that's your news. There is a ransomware attack going on at Diamond Comics. It is going to affect some distribution this week. Hopefully it's resolved by next week and things get back to normal. And hopefully, if you're one of the retailers out there, my heart goes out to you. And I know that you don't deserve this, and I hope that it all works out in your favor. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I would appreciate it very much. It helps us attract more views for the channel. Subscribe for future commentary, comic book news, and reviews. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you want to talk comics, movies, and much, much more, you can follow me on Twitter at Wes_from_TC. With that, Salamat Po, and I'm out.